and WPRL.org. As we have the Landon Bussie program. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Braves head basketball coach Landon Bussie joining us. You can give us a call, 601-877-6595. You can text a question, 601-301-2611. I'm on X, Tall Man Radio. It's a good weekend for yours truly and for Coach Bussie. He loves his Ravens, and the Ravens are moving on. And my Rams won last night, and they're moving on. They got a trip to Philadelphia coming up this weekend, and the Ravens have a trip to Buffalo. So we're all happy here on the Landon Bussie program. Coach Landon Bussie joining us. Couple of wins, good bounce back for the Braves, beating two good teams, Alabama State and A&M. A&M took Jackson to 3 overtimes last night, so that just tells you never know what to expect when you get into this conference on a nightly basis. Landon Bussie joining us. Coach, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Can't complain.
Looks like you're focused and laser focused and getting ready for the trip to Texas coming up. But just talk about how your team was able to rebound and respond. Two tough, hard fought wins over Alabama State and Alabama A&M.
Yeah, man. Took some reflection. Everyone do a better job of looking at self in the mirror, finding out a way. What can we do to turn this season around? And us to get finally get a win. So I think that we did an unbelievable job of just practicing hard, going up against Alabama A&M. Did a great job of that Sunday practicing against Alabama State and shoot around. So just the focus, attention to details, and preparation, I think it increased a little bit.
When you told me about the changes that you made both with yourself and just even with your staff and doing some different things, just trying something different. You did this last year, and if I remember, it was like midway through the season. I think it may have been, you know, after the TSU loss, you did that, but you're doing it right away. I mean, really just doing a deep dive early in the season. It's a lot of basketball left, but you obviously felt like some immediate changes need to be made.
Yeah, I didn't want to wait too long this year. Wanted to really try to make a stab at it immediately and try to address the issues. The biggest thing is just still trying to figure this team out. What works, what don't work, what helps, what don't help, and just trying to figure out a way to put a good product on the court. And I think that we're starting to hit a little groove right now. Now it's all about how hard we come in here and practice this week, and how much do we want to go have success in Texas.
Well, in my opinion, coach, if it wasn't for this team playing hard, instead of us being 2-1, we could be winless because it took some hard fought defensive stops. It took some hard rebounds and just hard stuff to be able to get us through these two tough home games because it wasn't easy for sure, especially the Alabama State win.
No, I mean both of them teams are really tough. You look at Alabama A&M. They put us out the SWAC tournament last year. They was in a triple overtime game to Jackson State. They're very tough, physical, athletic, and big. And same thing with Alabama State. They're tough, physical. They beat some really good basketball teams. Um, but hey, it's tough right now in the SWAC. Everybody's trying to get a win. Everybody's just trying to, really, really just trying not to, fall too far behind. So right now you got Southern and Jackson State undefeated. So everybody's just trying to stay right there.
Yeah, let's talk about that Alabama A&M game, coach, with C. Bryant, Moody, Downey, and McGriff. What were the challenges?
Um, I mean, Moody is one thing that I was very shocked about him is how well he protected the rim. He protected the rim at a very, very high level. Also, Bryant is a guy that we wanted to really locate on. I think we did a good job of guarding him. I think he had 30 something points against Jackson State. But overall, I mean, they just have, 9 or 10 guys that can really compete. Really good basketball players that play at a well paced and well coached team. It's really, really physical.
Yeah, I mean, it was back and forth first half. I mean, we were down double figures. One of the things you've been talking about, coach, is getting off to a fast start. Anything different that you've had to do here because I think that's probably one of the big stories. We dig ourselves a hole and we find a way though, and we find a way in the second half. We outscored them 37-22 in the second half. Have you been able to put your finger on those slow starts at this point?
Well, I don't think we really had a slow start the last two games, especially not against Alabama State or A&M. However, we did get down 10 points with like 5 minutes to go in the first half. But when we talk about slow starts, we talk about trying to win those first 5 minutes. And I think we did win the first 5 minutes of the last two games just to, we don't want to start out flat. But it'd be good for us to start out 12-2, 8-0. And I mean, it's going to happen. The more our defensive intensity pick up, the more guys we get to buy in to defending the rebound, the better it'll be.
With this team, coach, where does it start in terms of getting getting off to a fast start? Some blocks, some grimy rebounds, knocking down some threes. With this team, I mean, every team's different, has a different makeup. Does it start on the defensive end with this team or knocking down some shots, whether it's Gaines White or Pajot or Benet with a tough rebound, going on a run? With this team, where does that run start?
I mean, it definitely starts on defensive end. It definitely starts on defensive end. Great in transition, and also if you get some easy offensive rebounds, and you could create some turnovers in your backcourt with a full court press. That would be great. That would be great. So, um, it just all starts on from defending the rebound for the full 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was a back and forth first half, coach. And you look at the first half, it was 30-25 Alabama A&M. What was your thoughts on the first 20 minutes of action with this Alabama A&M team? 30-25 at the break. What were your thoughts?
I mean, my thoughts was, we did a great job of coming out against Jackson State in the second half on fire. We did a great job of coming out against Alabama A&M second half on fire. We did a great job against Alabama State. I mean, I think that we took the lead against Jackson State in about 5-6 minutes after being down 9. And we took the lead against Alabama A&M, very quickly in the second half. I think we just, after we started settling in ourselves, make a few adjustments. But that's the biggest thing is just, trying to complete a full game.
You've talked about the lineups, and I know you go with different lineups, and you've made this perfectly clear that the players determine who starts. You evaluate, you look, and who gives it the maximum effort leading up to the game, whether it's in shoot around, weights, film, training tape, or whatever. They determine who starts. So Benet, Tankersley, Luau, Gaines Wyatt, and Pajot. What about that combination, that group, that makes you feel comfortable with that particular starting lineup? Because you've mixed and matched. You've had Cornelius, obviously, and you've had some others. You've had some injuries, but this starting five here, what makes you feel confident about this group?
Well, for one, you got 3 returners in that lineup. You got I mean, you got two veteran guys who played at Division I level and had success. Marcus Tankersley, who averaged 17 points at Detroit, and Julian Lowell, who averaged, I think 7, 8 points at Arkansas State. So the more so than anything is just, the veteran experience, the returning players that you do have that has success in the SWAT, and more so than anything, guys who could pick up a little more further down the court, so we can, play man to man full court defense to try to distract and create havoc.
Braves head coach Landon Bussie, as we look at the Alabama A&M game, close game, coach. You look at the game 32-25. We were down early in the second half, but then we made a little bit of a push, couple of minutes into the second half. We're down by 1, 2 minutes in, then down 3, and then we grabbed the lead, our first lead of the second half, a tip in by Benet. He's getting the opportunities, coach, around the rim. And we saw it last night. Got to finish those things. He's getting everything he wants. He does everything right, but then you're just looking for him to put the ball in the bucket. I'm sure you're happy to see that he's got that physicality to get there, but you would just like to see the finish, and you would like to see the and ones. He had that, and he did a good job from the line, especially last night.
Yeah, I mean, he works on it on his own. He works on it in practice. He's a high character kid who really loves the game of basketball. Great motor. I think he's just at some point in time he'll start to fall for him.
Coach, talk about Josh Mitchell. I've watched him throughout the course of this season. Talk about Josh Mitchell and where you are with him right now in the next phase of his game as we go forward.
Josh is a guy who does a lot of things that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. Just his versatility, can step up on ball screens. Uh, he's a rim protector. Sometimes he might not get the block, but by him just down there throwing his body around, it can change the shot. Um, at Arkansas State, he was Defensive Player of the Year. I'm sorry, Arkansas Tech, he was Defensive Player of the Year in that conference. So he's known to be a very, very physical post player in the paint, um, and does a great job of chasing down rebounds.
Yeah, and down the stretch the other night, it was 54-49 with 3:36 remaining. Williams with a tip in, and then Benet with a dunk, and then Benet with a layup in the paint to put us up 58-49. And those were two big stops, two big buckets by Benet to help us pull away against Alabama A&M.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that, when you don't have JK anymore and you want some inside scoring, I think Jai can do it. I think he can do it. Of course, he don't have the touch that JK has, but he's a lot more physical, a lot more athletic, and stronger. So we just try to find a way to get the ball in the paint when we struggle scoring, and he's doing a great job making his free throw now as well too.
And then Foreman, coach, talk about him, Cameron Foreman. Talk about what you expect from him. I mean, you're mixing and matching, and I, I, I don't know. Maybe it's me. You know these substitution patterns. You're doing a lot of subs, offense, defense. You're really mixing and matching. It's almost a possession by possession, a whistle to whistle thing in which you're was 2 in, 2 out, 3 in, 3 out. A lot of substitutions that I've seen here, especially here lately.
Yeah, they should know the substitution pattern by now too. And so sometimes they get a little frustrated, like, Coach, I can play defense. And it's not that you can't play defense. You're not playing to a level of defense that Foreman is playing. Squirrel. We call him Squirrel. You're not playing to that level. You're not playing to the same level as a Josh Mitchell. You're not playing to the same level as Mike. It's not that you can't play defense. It's a different level of intensity that I need you to bring. And when you can get to that intensity, then I will be able to trust you on that defensive side of the ball. But right now, it's nothing personal. I'm just trying to win a basketball game, and every single possession, every inch matters.
Is that still a challenge, coach, to get these guys to buy into the fact that it's all about trying to win at the end of the day? I mean, I follow the NFL, and you're talking about Philadelphia Eagles in that game against Green Bay. It wasn't pretty. The offense was not clicking. But when you talk about championship sports, whether it's at the college level, the NFL, you're just trying to win the game, and whatever it takes to win the game, you're still trying to get your players to buy in, whatever it takes. If it's 1 minute, if it's 30 seconds, if it's one possession, whatever it takes to win that game. I'm sure you're still trying to get them to understand that just the little things matter.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a situation to where as though, the generation type of kids right now are they're unrealistic about what they are capable of doing, and what they think they're capable of doing, and the type of player that they are. So it's going to be a challenge when someone thinks that they are competing, or they think that they're the defender, or they think that they're the scorer. They think they're a certain type of way, but in realistic, they're not there yet. And so it's a challenge because I think, this generation of kids are very, they're unrealistic. And a lot of them don't want to look themselves in the mirror on what it takes to get to that level. And a lot of them don't want to put that work in.
Mm. And this is kind of the discussion around college sports today. I mean, some coaches, and I think NIL is a part of it now, but you're a young guy. You're not a 40-year veteran in the game. I know you will be, but you're relatively young, and so you know what these kids are about. These young men, what they're about, and you're one big mirror. I mean, because the mirror is pointed at the player, and what they see sometimes isn't, I guess, what you see. And so you have to constantly have that conversation, what you are and what you might not be when it comes to trying to find a way to help your team.
Yeah, I mean, it's a reflection. I believe that um, um, if I got low energy, they'll have low energy. If I bring intensity, they'll bring intensity. You just nonchalant, they'll be nonchalant. So just trying to set the example, set the standard of what I want this program to look like, and hopefully everybody else fall in line.
That's a continued work in progress. That was a big win over Alabama A&M. Now you got Alabama State, and man, I tell you, that was a really, really good basketball game. Monday night, Coach, 67-65. It boiled down to just the little things like free throws. We won the game from the free throw line, but can't remember an Alabama State team that was that proficient from beyond the arc. Was that the scouting report you knew coming in that when you look at this Alabama State team, the 3-point line, 11 threes, 35 attempts from beyond the arc. They had 61 overall, 35 from beyond the arc. Was that something that you expected from this team?
Mm, I mean, they shoot a lot of threes, so yeah, we expected that. I think we did a good job covering line. I mean, I think it was 31% from the three. So were we. Uh, so holding the team 31% from the three is not bad. Not bad at all.
And they
But
had Yeah, they had two players in double figures. So you look at that lineup with Hines, Knox, Madlock, Ubong, and Octave. Um, Talk about that matchup and just trying to figure out a way to deal with this team. It was 35 all in the second half in terms of scoring, but it just came down to the little things, coach, in a back and forth game, a really good, basketball game in which we had to make the little plays. Pajot with a big block with about 6 minutes left, but we made our free throws. And so just talk about the difference in that game last night.
yeah, I mean, we still are just trying to get better. Gave us so many crucial offensive rebounds. Um,
Yeah.
Gave us just late turnovers. And even when we was up 4 points and they hit a three, um, we did not do a good job of matching up. Um, and I'm going to talk to my coaches about that. We didn't match them guys up efficient, and that's why I think the guy got open three for us to even be in that situation. I think a lot of stuff could have been avoided. We just better prepared.
You talked about closeouts. You talked about it after the game. Um, what's the challenge in trying to get these guys to close out on some of these shooters? You're gonna see this every game. You're gonna have those sharp shooters got to close out on these guys. What didn't happen and what has to happen to improve our closeouts?
One thing we really focus on is loading up and being in the gaps. We want to really, really load up, be in the gap, keep teams out the paint. And so sometimes it takes extra effort to get in the gaps, then sprint and close out and beat on the catch. And that's what we're trying to master right now. To be in the gaps, take away the drive, and then you sprint your butt off really, really, really hard and get there and still be there on the catch. And so that's what we're trying to master.
It looks like 24 hours later, coach, as you kind of play it back in your mind, it's still troublesome for you to even think about it and talk about it. And my guess is that this is the formula to winning games. If you don't do that against these teams, more times than not, you might not come out on the winning end of it. So you want to start those good habits in closing out.
Yeah. I mean, you just want to have it. And like I said, start to practice. My plan is to have a really good physical brand of basketball practice this week, and keep the same intensity, and really challenge to push these guys. One thing, halftime at the Alabama State game, I really challenged Jalik and I really challenged Julian. I thought that those two guys was not competing to my expectation. I really thought that those two guys was cruising in the first half, um, and they needed to pick it up. And they responded, especially Jali. He responded because, as you know, Mr. Charles, when I challenge you, it ain't nothing nice as compared to when I'm challenging you and single you out in front of the whole team. So I really, really challenged both of them guys in the locker room at halftime, and Jalik responded. And these guys right now that they're tired, their bodies beat up, they're hurt and got lingering injuries, but no one cares. No one cares. No one cares. Everybody right now, body is sore. Everybody body is hurting at some point. You got to find a way to push through these next 20 minutes and go find a way to win a basketball game. It's that simple.
Well, I can speak from experience and being in many a practice. It is just from a personal standpoint, it could be frightening. I mean, when you start getting to that level, it's a. I mean, I'm sorry. That's the best word I can come up with, Coach. It's frightening at times because but it gets the desired result. I mean, I'm on the other side of the scores table. I don't have a uniform on, but I'm like, man, oh man, this is just. And I can share this with you, Coach. I think it was the Jackson State game, shoot around. I can hear your voice from the parking lot, and that tells me kind of where the practice or where the shoot around is in that moment. I'm like, oh, here we go. In that moment, something went awry, and your voice
Mm.
carries, but it's frightening, but it gets the desired results because we know what you have done, and we everybody knows what to expect, and the blueprint is there because we won the regular season titles. We've been in the NITs, just haven't gotten hoisted the championship trophy at the SWAC tournament. So everyone knows what the expectations are, and these players they seem to be getting it though, Coach. I mean, I'm looking at the camaraderie, holding each other accountable. I saw that a little bit here in the last week or so. Is that something that you're seeing more of from this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're getting it. I think they understand, slowly but surely. Understand, my intensity and understand the passion I have for this game and this program. But like I tell the guys all the time, if you don't really want to get challenged like that, then come into practice, focus, and compete with effort at a very high level. And when you do that, I don't say that like, a guy like Squirrel, I mean, I don't really think I had to challenge him really all year because he brings it every single day. It's not one day he does not bring it. So he's probably one of the guys this whole year I probably have not had to challenge. Like example like Mike. Mike knows the expectation. He knows the standard. Mike, um, biggest thing is he just got to stay mentally engaged. But Mike can bring it on at a very high level every single day when his mind is right. So, but they're starting to get it. They're starting to get it. Like I said, it's coaching. It's tough love, and it's all going to pay off in the long run.
Finally, Coach, that final shot. Alabama State had a shot. We missed a free throw to open the door. It was a 2-point game. Talk about trying to D up for that final shot. They missed it, but do you feel like that we gave it a good effort there to try to contest that three?
It's just it's a situation to where as though um, you always second guess yourself how you want to set your defense up. If it don't work, I shouldn't have did it. If it worked, it's great. It's a coach is like prime example. We played Talladega in that exhibition game, and they scored right at the buzzer. You just wanted to put yourself, you want to learn from no mistake. I think that probably could have helped us too by, because we designed our defense just a little better so they could catch the ball in front of us. When we played against Talladega, we wanted them to throw the ball over the top, but we had guys right in their positions that's athletic enough to make a play on the ball, but the ball didn't bounce that way. So, that's why you have games like that against Talladega, and so it can prepare you for Alabama State where it's most meaningful and when it really, really matters.
Well, that was a big win, 67-65 against Alabama State. I think that team is going to be Coach Madlock's going to have his team. I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. I think they'll be right in the thick of it. Coach, you said 2-1. It's an amazing feeling, and it'll be even more so if we can get these two in Texas beginning on Saturday as you take on Texas Southern. So let's look at it, Coach. We know Alcorn, Texas Southern. You go back over the years, intense, physical, emotional. What is it about Johnny Jones' team that you see this year compared to years past? The PJ Henrys not there, but still some proficient and efficient players that reflect Johnny Jones' system.
Yeah, I mean, you just know that they're always going to have good players, regardless if it's PJ and them guys is not there anymore. You know that Texas Southern and Johnny Jones does a great job recruiting. They still got Kenny Hunter and great the kid Carter. So they're always gonna be big too. So um, and Johnny Jones is the expert on the offensive end. So we just got to do a great job of um, keeping them guys off the glass and really want to come on with some intensity the first 7 minutes of the game. So we could get some confidence and trying to find a way to win a road game. Haven't won a road game all year. It's time for us to focus on winning the road game. That's our mindset. We enjoyed, these last 2 games, but it's time for us to, focus on what's next.
Do you think with this with Texas Southern, just the matchups are just so even? We find a way to play hard. Dominique Bruton hit a 35-footer to send the game in overtime a couple years ago. I mean, just reminiscing. PJ Henry with 45 at our place.
Yeah,
Is this just one of
45.
those matches? Yeah, I think he did. If
I
I'm
don't
not
think
mistaken.
I can't remember. Somebody put 45 up on me.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
I don't think
I
he had
think it was
45, Mr. Charles.
30. It was 30. Was it 38? It was
45,
over 30 for sure.
that's almost 50.
I mean, yeah. But PJ Henry was the man that night. It was a terrific basketball game with a lot of good scoring. These two teams, I mean, just mirror each other, I think. And so with this Texas Southern team, the pieces, is it just mixing? Is it just plug and play with Johnny Jones in his system, the way he does things? Just the type of talent. No PJ Henry, but they've got someone that's a clone of PJ Henry in terms of scoring. You talk about the big kids inside, the long 7'1" wiry centers. They just kind of plug and play with Johnny Jones' team.
Yeah, well, he didn't have 45, but he did have 41. Good Lord.
41 for
Um, oh my God. That just really just pissed me off.
Coach,
I mean, yeah, I mean
how
Johnny
long ago
Jones,
was that?
that was 2 years ago, but it's just,
Yeah.
40 when he
It
was
just bothered
25, it
you.
was 2015. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
15 for
Yeah.
25 from the field. So, yeah, I mean, it's just Johnny
Yeah.
Jones is coached at LSU. Um, Very, very poised and veteran coach who has had success at every level. Been to the tournament multiple times. They could be down 12 points, and it looked like to me he's over there all calm like they're up 12. So you just not, he's just so poised and um, so talented as a coach just to put his team in position to just always find a way to compete.
I can say this, and just watching you and watching Johnny Jones, the year that was the year before last when they eliminated us in the semifinals, I believe, he was so relieved because he knew that I think you kind of had him, and just the fact that they got by us was a relief to him. I mean, he exhaled. I don't know if he remembers. He probably doesn't, but it was an exhale after they pulled away in that game because you were right there, and even during the regular season, those two meetings. So, I mean, I expect it to be intense. I expect it to be a huge matchup as you try to go for your third straight win. And of course, Prairie View. I know you don't look that far ahead, but this road trip, coach, if we can get 2 on this road trip, man, that would be awesome as we come back home for the Florida teams.
Oh yeah, it's about to get very interesting. It's about to get very, very interesting. My plans, we have swept this road trip the last 3 years, and I don't expect anything else to change.
And then Prairie View, there, a lot of folks kind of down on PVU, but Coach Smith better than anyone. His team is playing pretty well right now, and so when you go to Prairie View, that's always going to be a lot of fun. That's Braves head coach Landon Bussie, ladies and gentlemen, talking all things Braves basketball. Already in the mindset of trying to take 2 in Texas and come back home for the Florida teams. Coach, we appreciate it, and we'll talk to you on Saturday from Texas Southern.
All right, thank you.
That's Braves head coach Landon Bussie. And that'll do it. 1 hour. Nate Kilbert, Landon Bussie. Glad you can join us here on the Braves Sports Network. For our producers, Jamario Brooks, Cedric Tillman, glad you can join us. We'll talk to you on Thursday at 6 o'clock, Lady Braves action. And then at 3 o'clock, it'll be Lady Braves, Texas Southern, the men to follow. And then the men will play at PVU at 6 o'clock on Monday. A lot of basketball coming up. We'll talk to you then. I'm Charles Edmond. So long.